Welcome back. Opening new horizons for work, providing job opportunities, and also providing new horizons in the field of industry and agriculture is going to be the main targets for Egypt in the coming few years. And of course, to shed more light on this issue, very delighted to be having with us over the phone live Mr. Abdul Rahman, the journalist and the political and economic analyst. Good morning, Mr. Abdul Rahman.
Well, good morning to you. I'm even more delighted, and a pleasure is always mine.
A beautiful day to you. First, we need to learn more about the New Valley, the mega project, or the Toshka project, and exactly what does it consist of. Of course, Toshka comes a long way, not only today, but Toshka is witnessing a booming major project today.
Toshka project is one of the major projects that we have achieved in the era of Mr. President Abdul al-Sisi.
Yes.
Why do I say this? Because yes, the project is old, and many projects were already in the agenda of Egypt right afterwards the independence, as we have achieved the July 23rd revolution. This almost 70 years. But who has the courage to achieve it, to start it, and to finish it? The Toshka project already has started in the past era and stopped when they faced the crucial challenge, which is the solid rocks on the course of the project. Then they have stopped. They didn't have the courage and the will. But today we have the will, and we have the courage, and we have the tools, and we have the means, and we have the solid will to achieve and to finish this project. And we have accomplished it as one of the most important and historical projects with too many dimensions. Agriculturally, it means a lot. It means that we have a wide range of lands that is good for agriculture and cultivating too many crops, and of course exporting to outside, and of course enriching the local markets. This is one. For second, the Toshka project means we have a defense line. If anything happens to the Renaissance Dam, or the Ethiopian Dam, we can absorb any waves of floods that can hit the lands of Sudan and Egypt. We can absorb those that threat, that major threat. We have cut the road on any vicious agendas behind that dam in Ethiopia. And of course, we have wide range also for manpower, for opportunities, job opportunities for thousands and thousands of workers and farmers and industrymen and investors, and also investors from within the country and investors from abroad. That's why I'm talking about the Toshka project as a major mega project. By the way, Toshka project is one of the projects that should have already accomplished in the 60s, completing the greater project which was the High Dam. But of course, we were under siege of the world powers against us from the east and from the west, and they have tried and partially succeeded to stop our Renaissance march. But today we are going through it and taking the line again when continuing what we have started, and we will never stop until we finish what we have started.
Of course, the Toshka project in Upper Egypt, Aswan, actually didn't start with President Abdul al-Sisi today, but the foundation was laid back then in 2014, when Toshka was just almost like a desert. It was the seeds of a project, but it was revived by President Abdul Fattah Sisi, and the foundation was led in 2014, and it did not stop like before. Ever since 2014, and from the first day, the work has been day and night taking course until we reached to where we are today.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. We have the will, and we have the power, and we have the sources, and we have the nation that is standing with its leader in each and every project he starts and accomplish. And there's one thing here I like to add. Mr. President doesn't talk about any project until it's already accomplished, or at least most of it is already accomplished. He never spoke about a project from the election views. He's talking about projects from the view of a man who is building his own country not just for our generation, but for generations to come. He doesn't look for those projects as a way to succeed in elections like other presidents do in other countries, or ex-presidents did. Today we have a leader that really is building our own country, depending on the manpower, especially on the military association, economically and industrially, and of course agriculturally.
Right. So talking also about this mega project Toshka, the magic behind that project is that the vast area of land, desert, turned into a complete blooming different agricultural projects. How important is it, especially to know that agricultural projects is the life of any country? I mean, even ancient Egypt, history and culture erected from agriculture. I mean, in other words, what the Egyptian administration is trying to do now is that it is repeating the greatness and aura of the Egyptian pharaohs, building a new history from agricultural industry. If you like to elaborate.
Of course. This project is connected to one of the most strategic crops in Egypt, which is wheat. It's a battle of wheat. That crop represents the battle of independence, agriculturally and economically. And of course, we have revived that crop, that strategic, it's the most important crop, along with cotton, the long-tail cotton. Those two crops were stopped deliberately in the past era, but we have started again, and we have achieved great moves and steps in those fields. Today, Toshka contains lots of spaces for cultivating wheat. That means we can have our own, we can seek our own independence, along with other projects in the same line, like Mustaqbal Masr. This is that project, along with Toshka project. We can achieve our own independence. A nation without its own self-sufficiency can never have its independence. In this world that is filled with rage and conflicts and wars, it's a war about economy. The war today is about always economy, not by armies. In two rare times, we're talking about traditional wars. Today it's economical wars. And to have the power, you must have the independence by having self-sufficiency of such crops like wheat in such projects and other projects, and of course along with the enhancing the and concentrating on expanding the horizons and the spaces for wheat cultivation, we can have this independence. This is a very tactical and a strategic step.
So, speaking again about agricultural industry and agricultural development, which is the first and foremost steps of development. Any sustainable development would, on the first hand, requires agricultural industry and agricultural projects. Why? Because agriculture is the source of life, and also it is translated or reflects food security for human beings. So talk to us about the different projects inside Toshka, and how efficient is it to be able to provide food security that we need until 2030, for example, and would qualify us to export even in the near future.
The variety of crops that we are cultivating in Toshka project is that sort of crops that have the industrial dimension connected to many industries. That means we have connecting the investments from within and from abroad. That means we have horizons, new horizons for exporting outside, and of course right after we achieve our own self-sufficiency. It means we are speeding steps, like Mr. President has said. We need to speed up, and more and more and more. We have to have the will and the courage to achieve more. With such projects that have too many faces and too many dimensions, agriculturally, industrially, we can face the pressures that we are surrounded by, as we are the only stable nation in the whole region, thanks to Allah. And we need to maintain that stability. We need to maintain our own projects, going from project to another, until we achieve cultivating projects in Toshka, in around Toshka, in the Upper Egypt, in Sinai, in northwest, in Matruh. That's what I'm talking about. Those kind of multiple faces projects, that means high levels of independence and our own achieving our own targets economically and agriculturally, and of course to achieve our own prosperity for the nation later on.
The Toshka project is located, like we earlier said, in the South Valley in Aswan, and actually it's the largest of its type in the region, and this is where the importance lie. And also the aim of achieving self-sufficiency in wheat. So are we expecting the president to witness or attend the harvest of wheat, the season? I mean the start of the season of the harvest of wheat, and especially that wheat is a very important crop, and we have seen with our own eyes in the Ukrainian-Russian crisis, the wheat was, I mean, imposing a huge problem when the war erupted between Russia and Ukraine. So, because it's a basic commodity after all. So talk to us about the importance of harvesting wheat, and if the president is going to witness the harvest of wheat also during the inauguration of the mega projects?
Before the crisis of the Ukrainian war that Russia has launched, defending its own national security, before this war, Mr. President has started a bunch of projects, especially in the field of agriculture, especially in the field of cotton and wheat. And wheat is the most important strategic crop to Egypt and to the Egyptians. imagine that this Toshka project that is speeding up its steps and being expanded day after day, and we are expecting for the president, inshallah, to witness the harvest of that golden crop in Egypt. Imagine that we can also achieve a magical and historical project, which is connecting the Nile to our own Nile, to the Congo Nile. That Nile, one branch of this Nile was going through our western desert, taken all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, going through our own western desert. If we can revive that river and connect it to Congo River, that means we can connect Toshka project with this project, of course, later on in the near future, hopefully. That means we can really get Egypt back to its title, Green Egypt. Egypt was always called Green Egypt because it was green land. Agriculture was spread in each and every acre in our land, from the eastern desert and the western desert thousands of years ago. And now we are talking about opening arms for the future with free will and solid will. And we have our president to lead those hopes, that based on strategic we have already achieved that strategic project on the papers, and all we need is to start it, connecting with our own friends, our own brothers in Congo country. We have our own relations with the African country, and we have that roots that can give us roots of life and breath of life for the future. That project is a key project to the progress of Egypt, in Upper Egypt and all of Egypt, especially Upper Egypt, that have suffered for 30 years before, without progress, without any projects, without any strategic projects. People were living under line of life. And now we have people in this part of Egypt having hopes and having opportunities and having beautiful look to the future. And of course, we are all gathered around our leaders to start those projects and maintain the main march. The people, the nation, and the army are as one hand, as we have started that march in the June 30 revolution.
Right. On this note, of course, Mr. Abdul Rahman, the political and economic analyst, would like to thank you, sir, so much talking to us this morning. And we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.